Welcome to Strange Occurrences, part of the Riche Collective of the Riche Life, simply luxurious lifestyle on a budget. Today, on this live TikTok episode that you can later listen to on YouTube, sorry about no pictures, I'm still learning YouTube, and Spotify, we are going to unbox more of my 30-year-old CD collection. This collection has traveled with me since the 90s, since I started collecting everything from gifts that people gave me to Columbia House records. If you don't know me, I am Rose Stone, also known as Ms. Riche Life on all of the socials. Really, it's just TikTok and Pinterest because for some reason I got a new phone and my Instagram disappeared, but that's not the biggest deal in the world. So I am here to unbox more of my Columbia House CDs. So if you hear an album you like or love or dislike, or have a great memory of, definitely chime in, leave a comment, and we will talk about it. If you want to hear the other CDs, there's like 2 or maybe 3 more episodes. I don't even remember because I have so many. I can't believe how heavy this box of CDs I have carried around for all of these years is, and they ended up in my basement, and here they are. So like I said, I usually pick them blind. The basement is dark, so I can't really see what's in there. But when I got to the bottom of the box, which has VHS tapes too, and I will go into those, I found one of my absolute most prized possessions. And I almost cried. Okay, you guys ready? Okay. This is my John Lennon box CD collection. I got this, it was sometime between 1998 and 1999, and it's his illustrations on the front. It's his anthology, and it's got some of his handwriting on the back printed, and of course, John Lennon at his white piano. So it's got all the CDs are still in it. I listened to it, I don't even know how many times, but this was one of the ones that I took complete care of. And I thought I lost it. I had no idea. It was safely tucked away at the bottom of this box. So there are 3 CDs, 4 CDs, and the book. So some of that was upside down. So I have them in order, CDs 1, 2, 3, and 4. So CD 1 has Family Tree, and it's John Lennon's drawing of him and Yoko under a tree with some fruit. Is that gorgeous or what? Let me know in the comments if you want me to take some pictures and videos so you guys can see what this looks like. And then it's got, all of his hits. Well, first set of hits, Working Class Hero, God, I Found Out, Hold On. I could keep going and going. So let's go and check out what CD 2 has going on. I have to put these back in order because they are very, very special to me. Okay, so CD 2 of New York City. So this is John Lennon as the Statue of Liberty, and it's New York City, Attic Estate, Imagine, Bring on the Lucy, and so many more. Some of these names I can't say live on TikTok, and that's okay. You can always Google the other songs that are on here. Let's pick up CD 3. This is The Lost Weekend, and I can't actually read what he's written, but this is another John Lennon doodle of him. It looks like he's throwing a ball in the air or something. And on here is What You Got, Nobody Loves You When You're Down and Out, Whatever Gets You Through the Night, home and studio version, Yesterday parody. Really great stuff on this CD. Does anyone else have this collection? because I could go on and on. All right, CD4 Dakota. So this is when John and Yoko moved to the Dakota building, which is on 72nd and Central Park West. And this is John Lennon with, I believe it would be one of his children, Sean, and another little doodle, and there's a balloon and a man, and they're waving, and really, really cute. So on this one, this has a lot of my favorite songs. I'm Losing You, Sean's Little Help, Serve Yourself, My Life, Nobody Told Me, Woman, Dear Yoko, Watching the Wheels. Beautiful, beautiful CD collection. Absolutely. I'm so happy that I still have it. I literally accepted that it was gone, and finding it just made me so happy. So happy. So this is the book, and they have a little bit of staining on them, but they're like 30 years old almost. What do you want? So this is John Lennon's staff, musical staff, and instead of a bass or treble clef, it's an L clef. And he's got some doodles and some colors on there, and a photograph of him. Our little doodles, let me know in the comments, or give me some hearts right now if you guys want me to take pictures and video all of this. And you can see what's here. So here is a famous picture of John and Yoko on the back. On the front, again, John Lennon's face and the famous glasses. December 6th, 1980. So this is the book. So many pictures. It's like just a deep dive, a very personal look into who John Lennon was and who he was with Yoko and who he was after the Beatles as a New Yorker. So this is really special for me. I am so very happy that I found it. Do we have any Beatles, John Lennon fans? George Harrison, Ringo Starr, Paul McCartney? Any musicians out there ever meet or work with any of the Beatles? The one person that hasn't come to Bethel Woods, at least that I remember, maybe I'm wrong, but is Ringo Starr and his all-star band. I mean, that's like all peace and love. I think it would be great. All right, let's see. I'm going to just pick up a few. Let's see. What I haven't found yet is any Nirvana. Not any yet, but I know it's here. I know I have all the albums. All right, so the theater nerd. All right, so this is, and the band played on music of the Titanic, and on the back it has the whole band that played until the tragic moment that the Titanic fully sank into the water. There you go. That's one of my CDs. I told you guys I worked at like day camps and things. I don't have the CD in here, but I think that I found it on another live. This is Disco Fever 3. If you happen to work with kids at summer camp, a little tip, disco music is awesome. It's like just groovy enough and retro enough. Like kids just, I don't know, the kids that I used to work with really, really enjoyed the disco. It just like they just got down with the get down. Oh my God. Oh. The presidents of the United States of America. Is this like ironic or what right now? But let's not go. But my God, oh my God, why? This is so funny. So if anyone remembers this song, this album, the main song that was on the radio all the time. And they've got Kitty, Feather Pluckin', Lump, Stranger, Weevil, Peaches, June Buggy, We Are Not Going to Make It, Kick Out the Jams, Body, Back Porch, Candy, and Undressed and Famous. I don't know if you could say the other word on this. So here we go. This is a great album. Does anyone have this one? No? Maybe no, maybe no. All right. There's no way for me to get through all of these. Like, I don't know how, not in any like normal amount of time. I really have an issue when I collect things like CDs. When it was cassettes, I had hundreds. When it was shoes, I had hundreds. It's books, I have hundreds. Now it's CDs, it's mutations. Who's a Beck fan? I know somebody out there's got to be a Beck fan. So I can't even read what this says. I got a little crack on the back of it, which means I listened quite a lot. Cold Brains, Nobody's Fault But My Own, Lazy Files, Cancel, Check, We Live Again. Some good stuff. Who's a Beck fan? Do you guys remember when he performed Devil's Haircut? That was so good. So good. Okay. I remember saying, because I had the Spice Girls and I was like, oh my God, that's like one of my little like guilty pleasures. But my other guilty pleasure, and they came out with the 2.0 version of this song. I think it was last year. So I was an originator of the lover of the Hanson of the Mbop. I remember listening to it on the radio and a bunch of people were like making fun of it. And I'm like, they're kids. Listen to the harmonies. Like they're playing their own instruments. Like it's really impressive what's going on. So I got it's not a cuss single. Cause single was cassette. It would be, I don't know. Give me a word for it. Give me a word for it. All right, here we go. Ooh, oh my goodness. I cannot remember one song off of this, but I remember listening a lot. Again, another broken CD case. Who knows? Elvis Sinatra. Anyone? Does anyone know Elvis Sinatra, East Village, Vegas? So check out this album cover. It's great. And this says on the back here, as Elvis Sinatra, singer-songwriter, performer, George Leonard combines the best elements of vintage Las Vegas pop and swanky jazz with his unique and very funny view of the human condition. The ultimate multimedia lounge performer. I highly suggest you guys try to find where this is. Like you could download this or find this CD if you've got a CD player. This is so awesome. Okay. Oh, I was waiting. I've got The Offspring. So this is their self-titled album. What is this? I can't even read half of what this says because my eyes are so bad. But if you remember that one song that again has to do with presidents, and I can't say what it is, what is going on? Like what went on in the 90s that it's all like circling back now? All of these sentiments, I guess maybe we all put them out there. Maybe we all like, just we were tired of it. I think we were just all of us, all the Gen Xers are just like tired of the establishment, and we always were. And I think that through music we made, music we listened to, that was like kind of how we expressed our angst with what's been going on in the establishment. And then someone told us we had to grow up, and we're like, oh, we're anti-establishment, now we have to be part of it. That's just my humble opinion. Agree, disagree. I don't really care, but let me know in the comments. All right, so here we've got Bob Dylan. This is Time Out of Mind. I just saw Bob Dylan at the Outlaw Festival with Robert Plant, Alison Krauss, you got to download any of their music. It is incredible. Bob Dylan played, and of course, Willie Nelson, and he did show up. He had canceled lots and lots of shows before Bethel Woods. I knew he was going to be at Bethel. It was incredible to see him. But you know Bob Dylan, if you've ever seen Bob Dylan in person, it's definitely different than what you hear on the records. I said the only discernible thing that sounded like him was the harmonica, and he didn't play any of his classics. But still, getting to see Bob Dylan in person, I think it was a once in a lifetime for me, and I would see him again. So, anyone a Bob Dylan fan out there? Anyone ever, like, you're learning to play music, you're learning to play the guitar, and you're learning your Bob Dylan or Johnny Cash? I love me some Johnny Cash. I wonder if he's in here. All right, so, ooh, my gosh. Another thing about me was way, way, way back in the day, from the time I was 3 years old, I was a dancer, mostly tap. I'm a tap dancer. That's why I'm a theater nerd. But I also took ballet and hip hop. And one of my absolute favorite 80s/90s hip hop bands, TLC. Where's my love for TLC? So this got Ain't Too Proud to Beg, Had to Hit Back. Do you guys hear that? That is thunder. We are getting major storms right now. So if all the electricity goes out, thank you for joining me. We're in the middle of a big storm, but here we go. TLC. Do you guys remember the documentary with Lisa Left Eye Lopez very shortly before her passing? I remember finding it. I can't remember where. I don't know if it was on like VH1 or MTV or the Discovery Channel. If anyone remembers right now, let me know. And I remember I sat down and I was like, oh, how odd she's making a documentary. I've got to watch this because, I love TLC. And she had said something about she felt like a spirit was chasing her. And shortly after that, she passed. And I don't know, maybe sometimes, yeah. Interesting. Let's see what else is in the bag. I can't, there's another like 50 in here. 50. I have probably, I got to count them all. I've probably got about 300. Does anyone else have a CD collection that big that they have taken and traveled with them through, like, I would say 30 moves? Not even a joke. I've moved like 30 times in 20 years. Not a joke. So I've taken these CDs, very good care of them, along with like lots of family pictures and heirlooms and things that I have kept throughout the years. So let's take a look. More CDs. Let's see. Okay. Very happy. I didn't think I had them, but I have Metallica, the 998 CD Garage Days Revisited. Anyone have this? It doesn't have its cover anymore, but I know we've got some Metallica fans out there, and I know that there were some Zoomers out there trying to cancel Metallica for some reason, for something with Kurt Cobain, and everybody respected Kurt Cobain. I miss him. I'm really hoping that I do find the Nirvana CDs. I wonder if they're all together. Probably not. So last week, I found the cover. This week, I found the mixed CD to Life is Beautiful. I also found in the box a whole sleeve of at least 100 blank CDs that I can no longer burn right now. But this is the Life is Beautiful, the Academy Award winning Italian movie about World War II that brought me to the most hysterical tears I never thought were in my body. I saw this movie at a very small theater in Scarsdale, New York. This theater specialized in foreign films. And all I remember is reading the subtitles going, that's not quite the translation, but okay. But then it got serious and I heard all the other people in the theater sobbing, and I held it all in and I got in the car, and that was it. The waterworks did not stop for a very long time. A very, very long time. I don't even know what this is. Licensed for promotional use, not for resale. Buckethead giant robot. Something about Chamber of Horrors. Oh, is this like a burned DVD maybe? I don't know where these came from. But then again, I've moved a lot, so who knows what I've collected from where. Okay, one of my, I would say, musical inspirations, because anytime any of their music is covered, it's just as good as the original. I think it's because it is so incredibly well composed, lyrically, musically, all of it, that this CD was played so much, and it is Simon and Garfunkel's greatest hits. Mrs. Robinson for Emily, wherever I may find her, the boxer, 59th Street Bridge Song, The Sound of Silence, and if you guys know the Disturbed cover of that, is just off the hook. I love it. I Am a Rock, Scarborough Fair, Homeward Bound, Bridge Over Troubled Waters is a song I aspire to sing in the original key. America, Kathy's Song, El Condor Pasa, Bookends, and of course, Celia. What's not on this is Hazy Shade of Winter, and let me know if you agree that one of the all-time greatest cover songs is the Bangles cover of Hazy Shade of Winter, still in probably my top 10 of all-time songs. I love that cover so much. All right. What do we have? Of course, the theater nerd. I'll go quickly, but I'll have to show you. So, one of my absolute favorite musicals growing up was Gypsy. When I was younger, I wanted to play Gypsy. When I was older, I knew I wanted to play Mama Rose. I still would. If I had to describe my voice, especially when I was really immersed in voice lessons daily and all of the musical theater, the whole world basically of musical theater, I sound like a cross between Cher and Ethel Merman, and they always gave me Ethel Merman songs or Barbra Streisand songs. And someone had commented, actually a couple of people have commented, that I look like a young Barbra Streisand. I love it. Thank you. I wish I had her voice. But here is Ethel Merman in Gypsy. And I remember I was working on a song that she sang called When That Midnight Choo-Choo Leaves for Alabama, and I was like belting it out. It was so much fun back in the day. So my musical theater days were fun. Well, the school part, the audition for it, not so much. Oh, how sad. The Scorpions without the CD. I don't know if you guys watch the Trailer Park Boys on Netflix, if you're okay with lots of craziness and profanity and drinking and all this crazy stuff. But weirdly, the only reason this ties in is Sebastian Bach plays himself on the show. And there's this one scene where like they're in a parking lot and he's recalling a show that they did. And he's starting to scream, "We're scorpions, we're gonna rock you like a hurricane." And he's doing it in like the whole Sebastian Bach voice that I can't do. And I guess whoever's sitting next to him, maybe his manager or whatever, just like smacks him in the arm. He's like, ow. Anyway, it cracked me up. You guys have got to watch the Trailer Park Boys if you just want to sit and watch. I don't even know. It's a Canadian show. I think they have different things you can do and say on TV. I don't know. Like more freedom to do and say things. Incredible show. Probably some of the best acting I've ever seen, especially John Dunsworth, who plays Mr. Leahy. Fantastic. All right, who do we have out there that loves U2? So this is the best of 1980 to 1990. And I remember going to see the Pop Mart tour sometime in the late 90s, Jones Beach. Now they call it Nikon Theater. We just called it Jones back then. And I remember that they had this big martini glass with an olive in it. And the set was really cool. And Bono sang New York, New York. And I think he also sang the Rocky theme. It was pretty cool. So this has Pride, New Year's Day, With or Without You. I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Everything. All the A sides, all the B sides. I mean, there's literally like every U2 song you could imagine. Do you remember when they downloaded their album onto everyone's iTunes and people got pissed? Oh, U2. I read an article that said so many people pretended to like U2. Like, I don't know where I saw it. I don't remember. But they never really did. But I actually do. I like a lot of their songs. Do you? Anyone? What do we got here? Okay, this is bringing me back to the early 80s, 81 or 82. I cannot fully remember. But it was my birthday. Don't remember which one. 6, 7. And I had a record player. And at the time, I was obsessed with Blondie, Auto American. I can still tell you where every song skips. And my aunt, my mom's youngest sister, came over and handed me a record of a group I had never heard of before. And I was like, this is interesting. And I played the record and I loved it. And when anyone thinks of my favorite band in the 80s, they think of New Edition. So this is New Edition's greatest hits. This is volume 1. It's Boys to Men remix version. And remember, they became Belle Biv DeVoe, and then those guys founded Boys to Men. So this is If It Isn't Love, Can You Stand the Rain, Count Me Out, A Little Bit of Love Is All It Takes. My two favorites, Cool It Now and Mr. Telephone Man. Lost in Love, Candy Girl, I love that song too. Popcorn Love, and Is This the End? So show me a little love right now. If you guys want me to get a CD player, which I'm looking for, and play some of these for like a listening party, let me know. I think that would be a lot of fun. All right. Oh, look at this. So this is more recent. I've got 8 Mile. I've got Eminem. I don't know if this is the only Eminem that I have, but obviously Lose Yourself was the Academy Award winning song on this. And this is a great movie. So I'm happy I have this. Oh, there it is. The first Nirvana that I found in utero. For many of us Gen Xers, the closest we ever got to seeing Nirvana live was MTV Unplugged, and it was magical. Did anyone see that MTV Unplugged live, like in the studio? It was almost impossible, I think, to get tickets, but we've got Serve the Servants, Scentless Apprentice, Heart-Shaped Box, One I Can't Say, Blank Me. Frances Farmer Will Have Her Revenge on Seattle. Dumb, Very Ape, Milk It, Henny Royalty, and Radio. What's your favorite off this album? I hope it's still in here. Oh, no, it is. Yes. It's still in there. All right. Let me pull up a few more. Let's see if I could find my other 2 Nirvana CDs. And thank you guys so much for joining in. You're fun. Let's see. Sit and drink Penny Royalty. Ooh, it looks like we got some good stuff here. A little south of Sanity. I've got a lot of Aerosmith CDs. Anyone an Aerosmith lover? They're on their farewell tour right now. I remember I saw them, I think, at least once, somewhere in New Jersey. I think it was the Meadowlands. And they had sold out the front part of the stadium. So they opened up the back part of the stadium. Of course, the band, well, the drums at least, were all set up to face the front. But Joe Perry and Steven Tyler kept turning around to face us in the back and like wave into the crowd and, really like making us feel like we were part of the show. And it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. I remember my sister, I've said this before, worked at Sam Goody, and the manager there was like such a big Steven Tyler fan that she goes, "Oh, you'll see her there. You won't miss her." And she had on like all these fabulous boas and hats and like scarves, and she was dressed like Steven Tyler, and everyone knew her. Everyone knew her and loved her at this concert, and I felt so like special that I got to give her a hug and say hello, and I knew her by name. It was cool. Anyway, fun memories when you find your old things. It's always nice to have a bit of a smile on your face. Van. This is Balance, and it's all written in script and really light, so I can't read these songs, but if you know Van Halen, you know what's on this album. How many Van Halen lovers are out there? What do we got here? Island Records. More U2. The Joshua Tree. Where the Streets Have No Name, and I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For. I sing I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For every single day. And the reason I sing it every single day is because I walk into the room and I forget what I'm looking for. Literally. So, great album. That was Thunder. Okay. Last week I found the Tori Amos album. There was a story that went with it. This week I found the burned CD, like the mixed CD. I found it, and I'll tell you the story of the Tori Amos concert. This CD is labeled I Love You Back, and it's got everything. It says, Thunder wishes it could be the snow. Tori Amos, Take It to the Sky, Purple People, Angie, Frog on My Toe, Honey. I can't read it all. It's in script, you guys. It's written cursive and it's small. So I can't fit my glasses on with the headphones, so I can't see a lot. But let me tell you the story of I Love You Back. Tori Amos, late 90s, Madison Square Garden. She was killing it on stage. It was amazing. She was stopping to talk to the crowd, and it's just her and a piano and a spotlight. And she's so incredible. She's so engaging. And someone seated right behind me, a fan, screamed out, I love you. And through Madison Square Garden, her voice lovingly traveled all the way down to center stage, where Tori Amos heard it, smiled, leaned into her microphone, and said, I love you back. And the girl, of course, burst into tears, because who wouldn't? So Tori Amos is not only gorgeous and talented, but a super class act that loves her fans. So I actually have nice stories about celebrities. If people want, if you're interested, I do. I actually have either been around enough in small spaces or big spaces or face to face and had conversations with so many that I don't actually have bad stories. But how amazing is that? More Aerosmith, big ones. Oh, I never even opened this. This must have been when I started to download music, because this is one of their greatest hits albums. But now that I have it and I want my CD player, I'm gonna bring it back. Walk on Water, Love in an Elevator, Ragdoll, What It Takes, Dude Looks Like a Lady, Crying Amazing, Juices Are Wild, The Other Side, Crazy, Eat the Rich, Angel, Living on the Edge. I love this music. Absolutely love this music. I liked it when it was out. I liked Aerosmith when Aerosmith failed to be cool anymore in, the record business, the music industry, whatever the hell it is. And then Run DMC rapped Walk This Way with Aerosmith in the room next door, and he breaks through the wall. And back in the 80s, that was a big deal. that was actually like the literal symbolism of breaking the walls and the barriers between, you know, what kind of music who should be listening to, and like blending things. And that was a cool moment. When we all saw that video. Anyone remember seeing that video? What did you think? What did you feel when you saw that? Here we go back to disco days. Casey and the Sunshine Band, because don't we all want to shake, shake, shake your booty, or get down tonight, or put on your boogie shoes, or play that funky music? Wait, that's not on here. How is play that funky music not on this, but sound your funky horn is? So the first year, Sound Your Funky Horn, February 1973. And the last song on here is from, what's the latest year? 1980. All I Want, Let's Go Rock and Roll. So they were definitely a disco band. They didn't step into any other genre of music after the disco days. Let's see. Oh, Sheryl Crow. So, again, I can't read all of this, but this album was actually produced by Sheryl Crow. So, this is her self-titled. Any Sheryl Crow fans out there? I remember she played at Woodstock 99, but I was not there. If you guys haven't seen that documentary, you've got to. I'm going to pull just a couple more. And then, whoops, we'll call it a night. Oh, I've got Santana. This is my other favorite band. I have seen them 3 times. They're actually playing tonight. No, I'm sorry. They're playing tomorrow. So they're playing Thursday, July, Bethel Woods with the Counting Crows. But I was unable to grab tickets this year. I will be seeing Pat Benatar with Berlin on Sunday, whatever day that is, the something first, I think. And this is Santana. This is Supernatural. And this gets played over and over and over again. Of course, the most popular song on this album was Smooth featuring Rob Thomas. I also love, one of my favorite songs is Corazon Espinado featuring Manya, and of course Maria. And this was produced by Wyclef Jean and Jerry Wonder Duplessis. I can't read that. And then The Calling is featuring Eric Clapton, and Wishing It Was is featuring Eagle-Eyed Cherry. You guys remember Eagle-Eyed Cherry and Nana Cherry? So Eagle-Eyed Cherry was that song, Save Tonight. What is it? Fight the break of dawn, come tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be gone. And then Nana Cherry was the Buffalo Stance. Oh, that was such a good song. We always hang in the Buffalo Stance. We do the dive every time we dance. I mean, man, something. So don't you get fresh with me. I would remember it if I heard it. It's amazing that I can recall those lyrics, though, all these years later, right? I don't remember what I walked in the room for, but I can remember Eagle-Eyed Cherry and Nana Cherry's songs from the 80s or the 90s. I don't get it. Wayne's World, party time. Excellent. I remember this movie, and I just saw somebody pull out a video today where, or maybe it was yesterday, where she sang some of Bohemian Rhapsody. I was waiting for the headbang from this scene, because this is what introduced Gen X to Queen, was the headbanging scene in the car where they put Queen in, what it was, it might have even been like an 8-track or cassette or something. Can't remember it all, but I remember watching that scene and thinking it was so great. And I remember having spend the night at my friend's house, and we got up the next morning and we turned on the radio, and Bohemian Rhapsody was on because Wayne's World was now such a hit that the radio stations were playing it. And I just remember sitting in the sleeping bag on the floor of my friend's room headbanging to whole chorus part. So after that, total Queen fan. Total Queen fan. Ooh, I've got Fuel, Sunburn. Anyone a Fuel fan? I've got Untitled, Bittersweet, Simmer, Jesus or can't say it. Sunburn, New Thing, It's Come to This, Song for You, Mary Pretends, Ozone, and Hideaway. This is why I need a CD player for a listening party. All right, I am going to end this one again with my theater nerdiness. You want a story, though? I have a story. Okay, is Sideshow. This is about Daisy and Violet Hilton. They were conjoined twins, and they were basically, put in a sideshow their whole life. They used to sing, play the instruments, and I think it was like the piano and the clarinet. They had these pretty little curls and bows. There are documentaries about it, and Robert Zemeckis' wife, Leslie Zemeckis, does a lot of books and documentaries and has a lot of information about the sideshow and like vaudeville burlesque performers. So there was a while back some, I would say, semi-scandal with Alice Ripley. I'm not going to get into it here. Leave me a comment if you want me to. It's not the greatest. Again, I don't know if it was true or not, but it was really, really like strange to read. She's very talented. The show at the time was in previews. So this was 1997, and I had just gotten off the train because I lived in Westchester and met my brand new AMDA, American Musical and Dramatic Academy class at this theater, whatever theater, where Sideshow was in previews. Spoiler, one of the cast members ended up being one of my dance teachers and choreographers for a while. So we watched the show, the great show, but here's the crazy part. I was sitting next to someone that I had befriended who later on became an unaliver, and people were actually scared of this guy. Like his roommate in the 90s was terrified of him, and it was described that he had like a hair trigger temper. But he was always nice to me, and we would walk to class together and stuff. It was really weird, right? So around the same time, it's like Christmas time-ish, and I was with some friends, and I walked into FAO Schwartz. At the time, yoga balls were not like popular. They were just like big, giant, like there was a big ball pit, but they had balls the size of yoga balls. So they weren't like popular in the home. They weren't popular to sit on at your desk, all of that. They were just like kid stuff or in a yoga studio. And I get smashed in the face with one of those giant balls, rubber balls. And I'm like, okay. So it's this guy, this unaliver guy. Now it was years between that incident and the unaliving that happened. But what happened was he got into like yoga and transcendental meditation, and he had like some sort of a breakdown and was emailing people about how he needed to unalive his yoga teacher that literally looked like the biblical Moses. And he did. And clearly he went to prison, and a bunch of us were talking about it. And I think that he's no longer with us. I can look it up. I can, give you more information about that. But that is the story, a sideshow. Like, that's what I remember from it. So there you have it. And I want to thank everybody that's joined me on this live. You can catch everything on Spotify and YouTube, uploaded the next day. There's all the other episodes all about all this unboxing. I've probably got another episode or two to do. You can let me know if you want me to do something else live. I don't mind either, but I sincerely appreciate each and every one of you, and I will catch you on the next episode. Love, peace, and hair grease.